evening, everyone. It is 6:03 on Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, and time to call to order this meeting of the Gallatin City Council. We begin each of our meetings with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, Councilman Carter is going to offer our invocation and then lead us in our pledge. So I'll ask that you stand with me, please.
May we bow. Dear Lord, we thank you for letting us be here to handle the business of this city. Lord, we ask that you would just help unify this room and bring us together in a sense of harmony and peace. Lord, we ask that you go with us and stand by us as we make decisions, Lord, and we ask that you help us to make the best decisions for the city, and we put you into our thoughts and processes as we do the business. In your name we pray, Lord, and we ask it all. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Kittrell, would you call for the roll for us, please?
Vice Mayor Love is absent. Councilman Carter.
Present.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilman Fennell.
Here.
Councilwoman George is also absent. Councilman Hayes.
Present.
And Councilman Councilman Juvance. Mayor, we do have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Next is approval of the minutes. We have none provided this evening, so we'll move on to public recognition on agenda-related items. This is the time of the meeting that you can speak to anything that's on the evening's agenda. You'll have 5 minutes. We ask that you introduce yourself and give us your address for the record, please. There is also a time at the end of the meeting where you will have time to speak to items that aren't on the agenda. The rules are the same for that. But right now, public recognition on agenda-related items is open.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's Patrick Greeners, 317 Mullen Drive, and I want to thank you again for giving me time to come up here and speak. You know, it's a good thing that we have speech and that we have decision makers. And obviously, every decision that we come upon, we can't be the best, and that's why there's a group of people to make a decision, to see what a group of people decide, and they take an average of the people and who wants it to go, and the majority usually will win. Sometimes it's a tiebreaker, just like in the public. And I know that probably only 20-25% of the people register to vote. Probably only 60%, 70% are allowed to vote. But then 50%, maybe less than that, really end up voting. You know, I don't vote because I don't get a receipt. But I still have a place here to be able to speak and be heard and not get interrupted or called to order for something that I can say about anything at the city meetings. And
On the agenda, please, at this point.
oh, this is the agenda one?
This is the items on the evening's agenda.
Well, I'm in the wrong place then. Sorry.
That's
for
okay.
not calling the order on me. I'll be back.
Anyone else wishing to speak to an item that's on the evening's agenda? If not, public recognition on agenda-related items is closed, and we'll move to mayor's comments. I do have several events to remind you of this evening. First, on the 22nd, this Thursday, is the relocation and ribbon cutting for Children or People. They have a brand new location on Teal Drive, and that's at 10 a.m. There's also a ribbon cutting for the new shade structure at the Miracle Park. That's at 11 a.m. This weekend is the Market Day and Bee Day at the Gallatin Farmers Market. It's always a lot of fun. The folks that raise bees over there really do a nice job of having educational components for the kids and for the adults. But it'll be a really interesting day and a great opportunity to learn more about our pollinators. The Gallatin Chalk Walk is also that day. It's downtown from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m., put on by the Gallatin Arts Council. The following weekend, the 27th through the 1st of July, is the Sumner County Carnival happening at the fairgrounds. On the 30th is the Homer Bradley Homecoming at Charter Senior Living. On the 1st is the breakfast at the American Legion. On the 4th is the Independence Day celebration. City offices mostly will be closed. We will have the Gallatin Fireworks, Food Trucks, and Foam Festival or party. That's from 4 p.m. until dark, and fireworks usually happen right at 9 p.m. when dark does set upon us. And then on the 8th is the fly-in breakfast at the Music City Executive Airport. I do want to make mention that last week was the Bandit Run. They had asked some things of us. We really weren't sure what was coming to the city or what we were getting into. But all in all, I think it was a great thing for Gallatin. I know the night that we closed the square and had all the cars up there were a lot of people. Same for Third Thursday last week. Really want to thank our city employees who support these events, particularly in our downtown. I know sometimes it's hard to wrangle and accommodate and deal with the headaches it causes, but y'all do a fabulous job taking care of these special events. And I do believe that they benefit our community because this one in particular brought lots of people to Gallatin. And they were very appreciative of the hospitality that were shown not just by the business owners in the city, but by the citizens everywhere and the people that came to see. And people seemed to really enjoy it and have fun. I didn't know. I saw the movie as a little girl at the drive-in with my parents. I really didn't remember the theme of it, but apparently a lot of other people do. So, do you want to say anything about it? I know Mr. Fennell was up there a lot.
Can't really add to what you said, but they was pleased with the way that they was treated with the city employees and the business owners.
They said that every time they turned around, they were asking if they would come back to Gallatin sometime. So I think they were well received and their presence was appreciated. And I think we would love to have them back. Also spoke to someone that in the past has done the Leave It to Beaver reunion and Comic-Con here in Gallatin, and he's going to have some big news soon. So looking forward to that for what he's bringing here in November. It's going to be really fun. So a lot to look forward to. And that will conclude the mayor's comments this evening. We'll move on to the regular agenda. Item number 1 is second reading on ordinance 02304-28. Councilman Fennell, I'm going to recognize you for that.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we'd like to defer this to July the 18th. This is something that I think that Ms. George and Ms. Love need to weigh in on it with the rest of the council.
I second it.
Motion to defer with a second. Any discussion? All in favor of deferral, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It will go back on the agenda on July 18th. Item number 2 is second reading on ordinance 02305-37. Councilman Hayes.
Yeah, this is an ordinance reappropriating certain ARPA funds. Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Hayes, second by Councilman Fennell. Any questions, any discussion on this? Seeing none, this is second reading on ordinance 02305-37. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Second reading passes unanimously. Item number 3 is first reading on ordinance 02306-38. Councilman Carter.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance establishing water and sewage system development charges and amending Gallatin Municipal Code, Chapter 17, to reflect the new charges. I so move.
Motion by Councilman Carter, second by Councilman Hayes. Questions, discussion? Mr. Javance.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to reiterate what I said last week. I think we should go directly to the IT here. If that's the kind of money we need to put in a bank, I don't see why I would give a discount for 3 years. That's what I think. So I'm all for raising the fees, but I'm against the tier program for the next 3 years.
Did you make a motion? I'm sorry.
Make a motion to amend the ordinance so we go directly to the I tier, the highest tier.
Okay, there was a motion to amend. There is no second, so motion dies. We're back to the initial first reading. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the original motion? Okay, this is first reading on ordinance 02306-38. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Does pass first reading unanimously. Item number 4 is resolution R2306-52. Councilman Javance.
Resolution to reclassify position within the Human Resource Department. And, motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Javance, second by Councilman Fan. Any questions? Any discussion? Okay, this is resolution R2306-52. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Resolution R2306-52 does pass unanimously. Item number 5 is resolution R2306-53. Councilman Fan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution to revise the employee pay plans and updated the job descriptions, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fan, second by Councilman Hayes. Any questions, any discussion? All right, this is resolution R2306-53. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed indicate by saying no. And item does pass unanimously. Item 6 is Resolution R2306-54. Councilman Fennell.
This is a resolution confirming appointment of Mr. Rick Murphy to the Resource Authority in Sumner County, Tennessee.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Carter. Any questions, any discussion?
So move.
Didn't you? Did you not when you made the motion?
No.
Oh, I'm
Did I,
sorry.
Craig?
Oh,
It's okay.
what? Yeah, I thought you made the motion and Carter seconded it.
No, I was fixing to say so move, and then he seconded before I so moved.
Oh, well, that's,
I mean, I didn't want
your
somebody
intention
to.
was clear.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mr. Javance.
Thank you, ma'am. Again, I have nothing in the package. I have no resume. I know Mr. Murphy from the campaign, but that's all I know about him. My question is what qualifies him to be on that board? What experience he has in waste management? I think we need to put people on board who have experience on what we're looking for. If we have people from the city, and I know Councilman Hayes has been there for a while, so he's probably got familiar with it, but we have probably people in the city who have experience in that and will be really helpful for us, even city employee. So I disagree until I know what qualification he has to sit on that board.
Mr.
I was
Hayes.
just going to say, I've been on the board many years, and I think everybody that's on there, even the last two county commissioners, have zero experience of waste management. And I would say the majority of people that have gone on that board have had zero experience of waste management.
I'd like to say something about it too, Mayor. The reason I would vote for Mr. Murphy, he's gonna research and find out what he don't know. He's that type of person, and he's always involved in the community. And he's the kind of person that we need on that board.
Back years ago, I wanted to put Zach Wilkinson on it, and then I wanted to put Richard DePriest on it, but we can't have a city employee serving on a board. Those would have been my top choices because of their relevant experience, but here we are. I think he's a good choice. I stand by that. Any other comments, questions?
I have a comment. I just want to say I know Rick personally, and I've known him for probably 20 years. Rick is one of the best advocates for Sumner County and for Gallatin that anyone could ever meet. And I think that, just like Councilman Finn said, if he doesn't know the answer, he'll research it and find an answer. And Rick is always going to do what's best for the city as a whole.
Thank you. This is Resolution R2306-54. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No?
Okay, resolution passes 4-1. Congratulations, Mr. Murphy. That concludes the regular agenda and moves us now to other business. I would ask if any member of this body has other business to bring before the board. Mr. Chance.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to keep going on impact fees. I actually contacted the top company who's doing research about it, and I agree with the planner that we need a study before being able even to push it to state. So I got a study proposal here. I can pass it around if you guys want to see it. I can email it to you if you want to, because I think we need to, we have a path forward. We need to keep going with that. Even if the study is going to take between 3 and 4 months to be done. So if we want to send it to the state, we need to start now. And we need to allocate the money because that's going to bring us money and bring a lot of money to us. City need the money. We have plenty of things coming. We know we're going to have to put money on the fire. We're expanding. We're going to need staff. So I think we need to, I don't see why we don't even push forward. And again, if the state doesn't want to do it, we can put into a referendum and let our constituent decide if we can do that or not. So I will email it to you. I appreciate if you look at it, and we can talk again at the next meeting and see where you stand.
Mayor, last night there was an article, I think it was on Channel 5 News, that a judge made way and approved, I think it was the city of Murfreesboro, to charge impact fees. And they pretty much broke it down, how much that the fire, the police, the parks, and how the money will be dispersed. So I know that there was something on the news
Well,
about
it
that
has to
last
do with the
night.
different charters.
I understand
And which ones
that.
have to go to the legislature. And, you know, as the conversation I have had over and over and over again for, 9 years now.
I was just pointing out that I seen
The
that.
legislature is not going to be in the business of considering impact fees until the litigation between Williamson County and the home builders and whomever else they're in a disagreement with is settled, because nobody wants to get into impact fees that may have to be called back.
I think that's what they were saying on the news last night. The judge rendered a verdict, and they're allowed to collect impact fees now. That was in their city and their,
Well, but see, what's happened in Williamson County is the same thing happened. There was a judge that ruled in favor of the county. And I have not looked this up recently. I'm not sure if I'll actually see Mayors Moore and Rogers, Anderson tomorrow, and I can find out what the latest is. But they're having to hold all that money because it's being appealed. And until that's settled, no one feels like it's a safe pursuit. So
okay.
that's kind of where I continue to stand with that.
And Sean, that's what the study does. They actually figure out how much money we decide where we want to allocate the money. That can be that's for the fire, for the police, for the park and rec, for roads. So we ask them to look at what we want to allocate the money, and they come back with a number telling us that the max number we can charge. And all the city I looked at generally go around 30-40% of the max, depending on the population. So that's what these guys do. They arrive with an exact number, and that's probably what the judge ruled on that number, telling that's what you can ask. And that money can be spent only in, if it's $500 for the fire, that can go only to the fire, can go nowhere else. So it's a different account will go only for what it's allocated for.
Anyone else with any other business? Mr. Carter.
I just want to recognize and give kudos to the committee that put together the awesome second annual Juneteenth Festival over the weekend. I think we probably tripled the number of participants. We had great weather, a beautiful celebration. So good job to that committee.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. I appreciate that. I was out of town and did not get to go and didn't think to mention that, but I'd heard good
Got to
things.
judge the rib contest, and I'm looking forward to next year.
The rib contest?
Yes.
Oh, we didn't know there was such a thing. I didn't see that as part of the advertisement. But last year it was a good turnout, so I'm glad to hear that it increased. That's fabulous. And organized by volunteers, and so I think that's important to note. And that they are in the process of forming a 501c3 so that it will be an official charitable nonprofit this time next year. So that'll be good. Raising money for scholarships, right?
Yes, they gave away 2 $500 scholarships yesterday as well.
Wonderful. That is awesome. Well, I appreciate you bringing that up. Okay, anyone else? All right, we'll move now to public recognition on non-agenda related items. This is the time of the meeting. You can speak to items that aren't on the agenda. Again, the rules are the same. You'll have 5 minutes. Give us your name, your address, and you will have 5 minutes to speak.
Thank you, Mayor. It's Patrick Greeners, 317 Malone Drive. And again, thank you, City, for doing what you do. And I think that, tonight's a good night to talk about rights. And I think there's a lot of people like Isaac Newton and Mr. Einstein that came up with physics. And kind of like what we heard tonight about how you could do impact fees and get an exact number. I don't think that's possible. I think that there's a lot of lawyers out there that can find enough wiggle room until there's substantial case law to put that into a conundrum, which is kind of like, depends on what your basis for comparison to definitions are. But back to rights, is everything has a right to do something. Either it sits there, it moves, and if it does move, it's got to follow the forces. And of course, for us humans, we have behavioral laws, which kind of derive depending on the person you're in front of or the day that they had. So they try to, fix that by giving someone an out if something happens and it wasn't supposed to be the law of the land. But see, people gathered to fundamentally protect people from a system that wasn't fair. And they set it up and they provided the Bill of Rights, which is one of them. And The problem is that some people, not all people, they just really need to mind their own business. When it comes to fundamental rights that they're given, people are given rights. It doesn't matter what a person thinks about a life, and they can choose to say it offends them, or they can choose to ignore it and realize that person has rights too. And I think the city does a good job at that. I'm really proud of them. Okay? Just like if I'm selling my house, it's no one's business of what I'm going to sell it for unless I own a bunch of them and I'm trying to downplay the property values. But I can sell my house for cheaper or more, and I could sell it with, 10 feet missing, and that's my business. If I have a mound and someone doesn't like it, they could talk to me about it and we could work it out. But that's my business. So anyways, back to the decision makers. And the fact that we get a council like you guys to make decisions, one person, obviously, as you can see through the past experiences, that one person can't make a difference if they think they're the sole difference. Point being, if I was going to move for anybody, any of you guys to do something, I would try to give you some pre-talk, some pre-coaching of what I was going to come up with to give you different ideas. I wouldn't just slam it on you. And, the people picked you guys. We picked you guys. Not me necessarily as being a voter, but me as coming up here and not anti what we have in front of me right now. I think we have a good group of people, and everybody can get better. I mean, people learn. Is like you said, this one guy, no experience in waste. I'd like to talk to the waste management people, because that's what I tried calling the county about, to try to help out. And there's always way, like the other preacher guy was talking about how with the traffic study. That's what we need. And maybe someone can just click their phone, see how long it takes to go from here a special way they know that they can go, like up East Main Street instead of going down 31. You can save a lot of time. But now if too many people do that, you're going to have different problems. So it's trial by error, and no particular study is going to show anybody the cost impact, because there can be different things happening that affect that. And I don't think the city should get into that. I really don't. So besides that, everything's going good. My federal case is still going, it's not dismissed. And I expect after the 14 days and 2 weeks to hear about discovery and a plan of service to get it moving on. So appreciate the city and all your help. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anyone else wish to speak under public recognition on non-agenda related items? This would be your time.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Bishop A. Michael Clark, 923 South Westland Avenue. As we know, we have a whole lot of events going on throughout the weeks and months here in Gallatin. And after 2 church services on Sunday, I stopped by there at the historical Black Fairgrounds and was just elated and happy with the spirit and event, and also to see as I interacted with people, not only people from that side of town, but throughout the Gallatin community, Sumner County, and many came outside of Sumner County to be a part of that event. And to all of those that work behind the scenes, just thankful that we have this type of community and wanted to keep going, and to interact with people that are senior citizens that used to be a part of it growing up, like our honorable citizen, Mr. Charles Brinkley, was out there also. And I just got to stay out there for 30 minutes. And the police department was out there interacting with people and the fun that they was having. I think they was doing security, but they looked like they was eating real good also.
I was going to say that.
God bless you all.
Anyone else like to speak this evening? Okay, seeing no one, public recognition on non-agenda related items is closed. And that leads us to the final business of the evening.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Fennell, second by Councilman Carter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of the week. Take care of one another. Good night.
What if we oppose?